Hello and welcome back to another World of Warcraft The Burning Crusade investments. These are investments you can do right now in Classic WoW to capitalize on the launch of TBC to make some profit. Some of these items you should probably keep for TBC itself, and some of them you should start selling before the launch, as some of them have to do with professions, for example leatherworking and also blacksmithing and engineering, where we are banking on people actually changing their professions, so you might want to sell those very close to the launch of TBC when people start preparing for the expansion itself. But here we go, these are the investments themselves. We have tons of them, many different ones in different categories, some of them being high profit, some being less profit, but all of them should be fairly profitable. Investment number 1 is the Tome of Polymorph Turtle. This item is a cosmetic investment, which will either give you pretty good returns or completely flop. The idea behind the investment is that a lot of people are doing the Sulguru raid right now in Classic, so the supply of this item is fairly high. While in TBC a lot less people will be doing the raid itself, so the supply will naturally decrease. The question is whether or not the demand will be there, and whether or not the price will be the same or the price will pick up. Next up is Black Vitriol, Purple Lotus and Firebloom. These are used to craft Philosopher's Stone, which are used to transmute Primal Might, which is used in a lot of high-end TBC gear. Philosopher's Stone requires 1 Black Vitriol, 4 Purple Lotus, 4 Firebloom, and 4 Iron Bars to craft, and most players probably already have this stone, but new players will not have it, and especially Black Vitriol is not very common, so Black Vitriol is probably the item to take away from that one. Nexus Crystals. This item is obtained when disenchanting epics in Classic WoW, and they actually have a practical use in TBC as well. In TBC you can transform a Nexus Crystal into a small prismatic shard through the Nexus transformation. You can also obtain a formula in Wristwraps that allows you to combine 3 small prismatic shards into a large prismatic shard, and large prismatic shards are used in endgame TBC enchants, so these can be extremely valuable, and if you pick them up cheap enough in Classic, you can disenchant them into prismatic shards and use those on TBC enchants. Next up is ores. Jewelcrafting will be huge, and people will look into prospecting several different ores for gems. Not only that, but blacksmithing is also a huge profession in TBC, bringing in armor smithing and weaponsmithing specializations, allowing blacksmiths to create insanely good armor and weapons that can rival high-end raiding gear, so a lot of people will look into leveling up blacksmithing as well. On top of that, engineers can craft gas clouds and extract motes of them for the spirits or the primals, basically a way for engineers to make daily gold, so engineering will actually have some gold making possibilities as well. However, I would assume most crafting alts or gold crafting alts will have tailoring and alchemy anyway, but engineering will still help make ores and bars more popular, and less people will be farming classic ores in TBC as well, so the supply will be lower while the demand might go up, which means the price should also go up. Next up we have Bracers of Undead Slaying and Wristwraps of Undead Slaying. These are a bit more risky, but they are also very cheap. In most cases you can pick them up for less than 5 gold. You get these items from the Scourge Invasion in Phase 6, so they are time limited and they won't be obtainable in TBC. They give a decent amount of attack power against undead enemies, which might have some uses in specific open world areas, dungeons or raids in TBC itself. Or in worst case scenario they might have some specific uses in Wrath of the Lich King as well. Point is, these will become unobtainable and price might go up because of that. In my first TBC investments video way back in August, which I'll leave a link to in the description, I mentioned leather being in high demand because of the drums coming in TBC. A quick summary is that leather workers can craft drums in TBC, and if nothing changes you can chain these drums back to back, as long as 4 people in a group have these drums. This means leatherworking will be a huge profession in TBC. You can basically have bloodlust all the time. You can make a lot of gold super quick by grabbing skinning in TBC, and you can make a lot of gold by buying leather now and selling it either close to the launch of TBC or right after the launch when people skill up leatherworking. Specific leathers I've invested into are light leather, medium leather, heavy leather, and rugged leather. I've also picked up a decent stock of the hides as well, as they can be used to skill up leatherworking as well. If nothing changes, you can expect a huge return on leather investments, but after watching BlizzCon, I'm going to update this to a semi-risky investment, as it looks like Blizzard is making some changes for Classic TBC, and they are looking at making content more challenging, like giving us access to pre-nerf bosses, and I suspect they might also fix this permanent bloodlust as well, but they haven't said anything about it just yet. Next up is Consumables. There are tons of consumables you can invest in during the downtime of late Classic, and sell close to TBC launch to make profit. Many of these consumables will help you a ton while leveling, especially on PvP servers. For example, Elixir of Demonslaying will boost your attack power by a ton in various different places in the Burning Crusade, and people want to have these ready. Free action potions and living action potions are also insanely valuable, especially if you play on a PvP server and want to avoid as much world PvP while leveling as possible. Swiftness potions can also be handy, unless you're playing a class that has a sprint ability. Darkmoon card Blue Dragon. This trinket is insanely strong and has a 2% chance to allow 100% of your mana regen to continue while casting, and these percentage values are being untouched for TBC, so they stay the way they are, and any percentage based items scale insanely well with gear over time as well as levels. This trinket will most likely be best in slot for many healers out there, and being ultra strong for classes such as priests. This is however an investment most raiders already know about, and probably have stocked up on, so the returns on this investment will be questionable in my opinion. But I thought I'd bring it up because it's one of the semi-obvious ones. The item itself is bound on pickup, but the deck is not, so you can craft the deck and sell the deck, or you can acquire the individual pieces and sell those as well. The Ace of Beast is probably the hardest one to get, and thus also the most expensive, just so you know. And the last investment we'll talk about today is literally any cloth. This one is a bit more of a curveball that not a lot of people have been talking about, but here we go. Blizzard are offering a one-time boost to level 58 per account. This is a paid service, but it's a boost, and a level 58 boost is insanely valuable. If you've been watching Twitch streams or YouTube videos, even my videos, you will probably know by now that you can make a ton of gold in TBC by doing daily cooldowns such as Primal Mooncloth, Shadow Cloth, and Spell Cloth for tailors, and even Primal Might Transmute as an alchemist. Doing these cooldown crafts can make you a ton of gold, as these materials are used in many endgame crafts, and they are extremely valuable. With a paid boost service like this, a lot of people will open new accounts and pay for that boost to then print money through daily crafts. And to do this, they will need a ton of cloth to level up tailoring on their freshly boosted characters. Basically, they will open up a new account, buy the level 58 boost, then skill up tailoring and alchemy, then print gold. Yes, these new accounts will cost them the price of a monthly sub, but people are absolutely willing to pay for that extra sub to make some gold. I was even watching Stay Safe talking about this on his stream the other day, and I'll show you a little clip of him talking about this too.
Imagine the boosts are like $20. So many people all the time gonna be boosting characters left and right. It's gonna be crazy. And I know you're like, oh, but you can only do one account. Yeah, people are gonna make multiple accounts. Of course they are, dude. I pay for 3 WoW accounts right now, and I play all of them. It's crazy. People long gone is the era of people only having 1 WoW account. If you're playing the game that way, you're a fucking relic of the past. A lot of people, anyone that's min-maxing this game has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts. I'm being straight up. I am not kidding you.
So there you have it, guys, my part 2 of my TBC investments. I will leave a link to my first investments video down below as well, where I cover completely different items if you want more investments for TBC. Check out that video as well, it will be pinned in the comment down below, and in the description of the video. Apart from that though, thank you so much for watching the video, leave any other investments you have in the comments down below, and that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.